Let's do it.
Awesome. Wait for that to come out. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for logging on for tonight's webinar. My name is Jennifer. I'm a project coordinator at the Suffolk County Community College Entrepreneurial Assistance Center. And tonight from Empire State Development, we have Jose Arroyo presenting for you for business credit opportunities. So, Jose, without further ado, you can take it away. I will be monitoring the chat and the Q&A throughout the session. We'll take questions at the end, but as questions come up, you can enter them and we will answer them at the end. So go ahead, Jose.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. I guess that a good way to start is introducing myself, telling you what I do for a living, and what exactly is it that we do at Empire State Development. So my name is Jose Arias Arroyo. I'm a program manager for the State Small Business Credit Initiatives program within the Division of Small Businesses and Technology Development at Empire State Development. And tonight we'll be talking about what exactly is it that we do within our team. I uh, I'm part of the capital access team. I'm going to go into more details about what exactly is that we do there, what good opportunities there are for small businesses across the state. And without further ado, let me share my screen real quick. That way you can see all the good stuff that I have here ready for you. Okay, let's see real quick. Okay. Jennifer, you might want to get, okay, I think I got it. Let's see.
I see your screen.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's hide this out of the way and let's minimize here. Great. So we're here to support the New York small businesses through our SSBCI initiative. But before we even jump ahead and talk about that, we need to know what exactly is Empire State Development. Some of you may know us, some of you may not, but in short, Empire State Development is the economic development agency for New York State, and we focus on fostering the business growth, creating jobs, and promoting sustainable economic opportunities statewide. ESD provides resources such as funding, tax incentives, and business support programs to attract investments, support small businesses, and revitalize communities. Some of the time, you may think of ESD as just support for small businesses, but we're all over the place in the good sense. So whenever you think about the $800 million COVID grant program, that's us. Whenever you think of the Moynihan Train Hall, that was us. The Jacobs Javits Center Operating Corporation, that's us as well. But at the same time, we also manage the I Love New York brand. We are the ones who manage the governor's office of motion pictures. That's all Empire State Development. We have a lot of subsidiaries all into one single umbrella organization. So that just goes to show how broad our efforts are into cultivating and pushing the envelope when it comes to economic development across the state. And I would like to make it very clear that although, yes, the largest population in the state, it's New York City, and that definitely comes with the side effect of some attention being taken, just just focus into the city. We focus across the state. So not only we focus in New York City, we focus also on Riverhead, we focus on Montauk, we go all the way to the Adirondacks and to the far lands of Buffalo. So anywhere that there's an economic development opportunity, trust me, we're there. Now, you hear me talking about SSBCI. What exactly is SSBCI? What are those acronyms? You heard me a minute ago introducing myself and giving you that whole explanation of the acronym. But what is the State Small Business Credit Initiative? It's a nearly $10 billion program created by the US Treasury to support small businesses and entrepreneurship in communities across the United States by providing capital and technical assistance to promote small business stability, growth, and success. It was signed into law it was revitalized by President Biden a few years ago. And let's see. And ESD has been allocated $501 million to manage both the debt and the equity programs to generate 5 billion in economic impact. From these, 282 have been allocated to my team, 282, the Capital Access Program, through which we offer direct and indirect financing, ensuring small businesses have the working capital needed to compete, and not only that, but also thrive. Lastly, and definitely not least, there's $219 million allocated for equity and fund-of-fund investment to support startups and diverse fund managers. If any of the attendees here are interested in the equity side of things, please let me know in the chat, and I'll definitely put you in contact with someone. You can also take my information towards the end in order to contact us through our general mailbox. But before we even continue, you heard me. I don't know if you saw that term SETI. Maybe you have heard it in the news through some form that you've been trying to fill out lately. If you've been applying for loans or if you've been looking for technical assistance for your small business, what exactly is SETI? So SETI is in short, is socially and economically disadvantaged individual, and what exactly is a SETI? A business enterprise that certifies that they're not only owned but also controlled by individuals who have had their access to credit on reasonable terms diminished for any of the various reasons that you see on the screen. So let it be because they're part of a member, they have membership of a group that has been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice, gender, veteran status, limited English proficiency, you call it. Some may think sometimes that SETI is attached to maybe a uh, racial note, or maybe uh, because of where they come from, maybe they're an immigrant, and that makes them SETI right away. But you could, and this is just an example, you could very well be a white person living in literally the richest neighborhood in New York State, and you could be a SETI. You could definitely be a SETI. Maybe because of your veteran status, maybe because your gender, maybe you have a physical handicap, but also what happens when maybe you don't comply, you really don't apply for any of the reasons that you see on screen. You could also be a SETI because, and let me turn the page here, maybe you as an individual are not a SETI, but your business definitely is. Why? Because the base of operations of your small business is located within a CDFI investment area. A CDFI investment area, for short, is just areas that have been deemed as uh, let's say, improvement zones by the CDFI fund. And you could log into the CDFI website, CDFI fund website. There you could see like maybe where you live right now is a CDFI investment area, maybe not, maybe where you plan to start a business. So let's say that you go and apply for any of our programs and you're not sure what to pick on the options whenever you're given one of these forms. You can log into the website and see, oh, you know what? Let me type in let me type in my address, and that should give you an idea if you can still qualify as SETI, if you don't, even if you don't apply for any of the reasons on the first page. Okay, so with that, let's switch the page to capital access. What exactly is it that my team does? So at Capital Access, we support the small businesses statewide, especially those that traditionally have difficulty accessing financing, including SETIs and also VSBs. The very small businesses are those defined by businesses that have less than 10 employees in their operations. Through Capital Access, ESD provides loans, programs that provide loans for short-term working capital projects and equipment, and for contractors and public capital projects. Loan products and programs work across various industries, and loans typically range from $500 to $500,000. You will see maybe your delivery guy who wants to buy a new bike, right? And he takes out on a loan for $1,000, 1,500. We can be there, but also we can all the way fund funds for like loans for $5 million because maybe there's a farm upstate that wants to renovate their facilities. Maybe there's a manufacturing business that wants to upgrade their equipment and their machinery. You name it, we can definitely help you with that through some of our programs that we're going to see in a minute. Also, financing and technical assistance is provided either directly by ESD or through partnerships with CDFIs. I don't know if you're familiar with the term CDFI. I would assume not. So that allows me to explain it. But CDFIs are basically community development financial institutions. These are what we call alternative lenders. It's just institutions that are based in the community, which goal is to provide financing at a really low cost for businesses in that area specifically. We also work with credit unions and other community-based lending organizations who we support through a variety of tools to increase access to capital. Some of those tools are the link deposit program, which lowers the cost of borrowing for businesses by providing an interest rate reduction on term loans. Eligible businesses can receive up to 2 to 3% interest rate reduction for projects to expand their operations or improve competitiveness. And what's interesting about this is that link deposit is actually having its best year in history. So let's say that you have a farm, and I keep going to the farm example, but that's just to show how broad the our scope of businesses can be. Let's say they have a farm and you're planning to buy either machinery, maybe you even want to buy cows for that matter. You can take a loan through the link deposit program. We will offer you that interest rate reduction, and from there, the sky's the limit. So we also provide grant assistance through our to our partners, and through those partnerships, we offer technical assistance, which is through either the CDFI fund or the CDFI assistance program. The CDFI fund, what it tries is to just bring those that have been unbanked and underbanked through so many years. It's not weird, it's not rare for you to walk down the street and maybe see your fruit spot, or maybe your hot dog stand, and you talk to the owner and they'll tell you, oh no, I try to keep everything in cash. Or maybe they've been trying to open an account, but because of various reasons, maybe documentation, they don't have their financials in order, they cannot open a bank account. So through the CFI fund or CFI Access to Financial Services program, we try to address that issue of bringing the small businesses across the state into the financial system where their money is safe, and there's also a reduction of operating costs because you know you don't have to pay fees to maybe change the check or money orders and all that. And again, I also want to reiterate the lack of risk for you to lose your money. Maybe you're carrying cash. It's a myriad of things that can happen if you're carrying cash and all that. So that's the goal of the CDFI fund program. And then we also have the CDFI assistance program, although maybe smaller in size when it comes to the grants that we issue through there, but we fund up to $90,000 to CDFIs across the state for the operations of 19 CFIs in the efforts to provide capital and direct assistance to near state small businesses. More likely than not, you will see that some of these CFIs are also our partners on other programs. So say that you're not loan ready at the moment that you come into one of our lending partners. Even though you may not be loan ready, they're there to help you because they also work with us for the technical assistance programs, and they'll help you become loan ready same way as as an entrepreneurial assistance centers. So it's always a good overlap also on that aspect. But lastly, the capital access team also manages six debt programs under SSBCI, totaling $282 million. And what are those programs? One of the biggest misconceptions that businesses that are going through the EAC curriculum is thinking, oh, I go through this curriculum, whatever, however long it is, and once I graduate from it, that's it. There's no more involvement. There's no more assistance that New York State can give it, that can give me and my business. That's wrong. If anything, that's just the start of of your relationship with New York State. So it's basically you go into one of the opportunities that we have right into the other, and we want to be there to help you grow your business. How do we do that though? We do it empowered by the State Small Business Credit Initiative. But before we even go to those programs, how exactly do we do it? How exactly can we help small businesses across the state? Well, we do offer loan guarantee programs. We can lower your interest rates. So the cost of borrowing is actually lower, which ultimately has an impact on the day-to-day operations of your program and the ultimate how the business is going to go down the line. We also offer flexible terms, so no 12 or not just 12 or 24 months. We can go up to 5 years, 6 years. We target specifically economically distressed areas. And lastly, we also offer bonding assistance. I'll talk more about what exactly do I mean by bonding assistance in a minute. But these five keys, these five pillars, is what all of our programs are built on. One of the biggest misconceptions as well is, oh, New York State has all of these programs, amazing. And I also happen to live in New York State, and my business is incorporated in New York State. They have to give me a loan. I know this may be disappointing, but no, you're not entitled to a loan. And the reason I say that is because the same way that we create these programs, we manage them and we try to uh, have these funds out of the door to the small businesses where the funds belong. We also expect some work to be done on the other side. And one of the ways that we expect that is that for the small business to be loan ready. How can the business be loan ready? Please, please always listen to your EACs and develop a strong business plan. I know that this is something that Jennifer reiterates a lot on the daily. Please develop a strong, firm, strong business plan. Why? Because that's one of the very first thing that our lending partners are going to ask you. They want to see, hey, is this business feasible? Does it make sense for us to take on the risk of lending money to this business? Please develop a strong business plan. Also, organize your financials. So, tax documents, uh, financial statements, incorporation documents, everything. Please organize them. Establish a good credit history. It goes a long way. And I'm not talking 820 credit score. Absolutely not. As long as you have a good and strong credit history, our lending partners are more than willing to work with you. Understand your collateral options as well, because maybe you go in asking for a $250,000 loan because you want to renovate your restaurant or your barber shop, your salon, your store, but that may come, depending on the credit profile, that may come with some collateral options. Maybe you have to put, I don't know, maybe your car as collateral or anything that serves as what we like to call skin in the game. You have to understand that that can be triggered at any moment. And lastly, and this is one of the things that I like to keep referring to, and is build relationships with your financial institutions. And I'm not saying just go for a cup of coffee to your local bank. No, work with the EACs. The EACs will refer you to lending to some of our lending partners. Work on that relationship with them. Don't go into that door. Don't ask for that loan as a stranger. And it's not like you're gonna go and just say, "Hey, this is me. I expect to have this to receive this from you." But no, like try to build that relationship as much as possible, because just like all of the other pillars, it will go a long way into benefiting you towards the end of the of your financial lookout for programs. Now, you've heard me talking about and teasing these programs, and you may ask me, Jose, what exactly is it that Capital Access does? What are these so-called programs that you keep referring to? So, first of all, we have the $106 million Capital Project Loan Fund. Through this program, we provide direct loans for the growth of manufacturing and other eligible businesses within your state by either financing a portion of the cost of the project, or constructing new buildings, or lastly, purchasing machinery and equipment. Another another one of the things about this program is that it's also being used to empower other smaller programs, and I'll tell you what exactly I mean by that in a second. But the Capital Project Loan Fund, very exciting program if you're into acquiring or renovating buildings or upgrading your machinery. So the $56 million Small Business Revolving Loan Fund, through it, we provide shorter term microloans usually, and loans typically under $250,000. And our goal with this one is to address the inequitable capital access by bridging that gap between new companies, underbanked communities, and small businesses. So with that, there's also the $47 million Near Forward Loan Fund too. And this is what I like to call our flagship program, because it's the one that the most likely that you'll come across to. And through it, we provide almost the same. It's a same, but different situation from the Small Business Revolving Loan Fund, because with this one, we provide flexible low interest loans for small businesses via an online application portal for loans up to $150,000. Whereas with this SBRLF, as we like to call it, the Small Business Revolving Loan Fund, you will have to actually go into our website, locate which of our lending partners you want to work with based on maybe service area, maybe you already have a relationship with them. You'll have to contact them directly. With the Forward Loan Fund, it's as easy as just going into the New York Forward Loan Fund webpage. So that one you can access it by going into newyorkloanfund.com, so nyloanfund.com, and it's a 5-minute application. Most maybe if you already applied for some of the COVID related loan programs a few years ago, this is going to feel just right at home. It's a very, very easy process. We also have the $29 million Capital Access Program. Although this program is more geared towards the lending partner and not necessarily the public, but with it, we provide portfolio insurance for participating lenders designed to increase financing opportunities for New York State small businesses. You may say, what exactly do you mean by portfolio insurance? So it's basically a safety net. Let's say that lender X works with the community in one of the communities in Suffolk County, and they don't feel too sure about lending to a certain type of credit profile because the risk is too high. We come in and we match dollar by dollar anything that they put into their insurance account. So, say for a $50,000 loan, if they set aside $2,000 as insurance, will match that dollar by dollar. And although it may not make sense for just one loan, once you start enrolling loans into the program, you can come up to millions of dollars into a loan loss reserve. That serves as a motivator for the lenders to actually take on the risk of lending to small businesses that otherwise may not have been eligible for a loan. So, an exciting opportunity with the Capital Access Program, although again, it may not seem like the type of program that is geared towards the public, but ultimately Just like with all of our programs, the public is the one who ultimately benefits from it. Also, the $22 million Contractor Financing Revolving Loan Fund or Contractor Financing Program uh, provides funding to contractors in need of working capital to deploy and execute federal, state, and local governments related contracts via participating lenders. Whereas all of the other programs, well, yeah. So while all of the other programs are term loans, usually this one is more lines of credit. So let's say that you need a line of credit to fulfill a government contract. Maybe you were selected as one of the contractors in term one of the projects in JFK, like Terminal 6, right? Or Terminal 4. Maybe you got a contract with the Department of Transportation for striping and all of that. The contractor financing program is there to help you bridge that gap, to help you fulfill your government contract. Uh, the $22 million bonding guarantee program. Through it, we provide access to bid bonds, payment, and performance bonds for contractors performing on publicly funded projects throughout New York State via participating surety companies. I'm not sure if some of you have not already know what a bond is, but a bond is basically the promise that if let's say that I work for the Department of Transportation, let's say this is solely an example. I work for the Department of Transportation, and Jennifer has a striping business. We just let's say we finish one highway, and now we need to lay down all the stripes on it. Jennifer comes in, we award her that contract, but we also need to make sure that she's going to keep her word, that she's going to complete the work for that. That's where a surety company comes in and basically vets that company, in this case, Jennifer's company, and say, oh, you know what, based on past performance, based on past contracts, this person is actually able to fulfill this one contract, in this case, the example that I just gave you for the striping. But in case this person doesn't, we have your back. We can actually pay uh, for whatever work wasn't performed. So it's basically that, just the guarantee that that work is going to be performed. So through the bonding guarantee program, we offer that assistance while in partnership with the surety companies. And last but definitely not least, because it's the new addition, the new baby for the capital access team, but the $19 million Main Street Capital Loan Fund. Through it, we provide term loans to startups and early stage businesses up to $100,000 with interest only payment for the first 12 months and a fixed rate of 9.9%. So you come to us, you request a $100,000 loan, and for the first 12 months, there's no payment towards the principal. And depending on credit profile and performance of payments, our partner can actually extend that period. Again, that all depends on the credit profile. Now, you've heard me explain what ESD is, what SSBCI is. You've heard me mention what by now I feel has been like 100 acronyms and all of the technical terms, everything that we do in the capital access scene. But what does that amount to? Like, what has actually been done? What has the public benefited from with this? Well, it's my honor to say that more than 1,000 small businesses across the state have benefited from our credit programs, with over $130 million worth of loans, lines of credit, and or surety bonds being supported by ESD, SSBCI funds. Through this $130 million, $40 million have been leveraged in SSBCI capital, and that number is only increasing every single day. But the metric that I'm mostly proud of is that 90% of the recipients for any of the facilities through our loans, through our programs, have been SETIs, and 75% have been allocated to very small businesses. So very good stuff happening with SSBCI and the capital access team, we're always thinking about the next project, the next program, how exactly can we bridge that gap in economic development? Where is it that our funds, our assistance is needed? So although you may not have seen it in the presentation, but we also just received approval for for the newest program, the newest addition to our portfolio, which is the ACDBE initiative. So that's basically airport concession businesses. And let's say that you are planning to apply to be an airport concession business in Terminal 7, Terminal 4, Terminal 6. We're there to help you, again, bridge that gap of financing. Let's see. Last but not least, you can always learn more about our programs by going into the ESD SSBCI website. There we have a really good tool that will ask you a few questions like, what is your type of organization? Where are you in your business? Are you just a startup, or have you been doing business for, I don't know, X amount of years? Uh, what exactly is that you're looking for? Maybe you plan to buy machinery. Maybe you plan to renovate your facilities, or maybe you just want working capital because you need those funds to help you keep moving. Lastly, the tool will ask you where exactly is it that you operate industry-wise, and then it will give you a list of results of what the tool believes are the best matches for your needs. So let's say that I log in right now and I say, oh, I'm an LLC and I've been in business for 35 years. I'm looking for $100,000 for my restaurant because I'm in the restaurant industry. It will give me results such as the forward loan fund, SBRLF, capital access, and right there and then we will give you the contact information on how and like steps on how exactly to take advantage of these programs. And with that, that marks the end of my presentation. Um, I know that we may have a few questions in the chat, so please feel free to ask, and I'm here to answer all of those questions.
Hi, we did have one question that came up. I just jotted it down over here. It says, how do you find a CDFI?
Great. So there's several ways that you can find them. Overall, you can, let's say, log in into the CDFI Fund website, and it will give you a really extensive list of every single CDFI in the United States. But for New York specifically, if you want to find CDFI that we work with, you can go into our website, scanning the code that was just shown on screen, but you can also log in by just going into esd.ny.gov. And once you go into our programs, you can see who have we partnered with and in which programs we work and how they can actually assist you through um, to help fulfill that request for assistance.
Awesome. We do have another question. Good evening. I started a table and chair rental business 2 years ago. I have my EIN number. Unfortunately, I didn't keep bookkeeping records because it was very few family and friends. Can you suggest where I should start to get my book straight so that I can have an opportunity to apply for some of the great programs that you mentioned?
Absolutely. So in this case, you can go into our website and see how you can reach out to one of our CDFI partners, the ones that we give some funds for the grant funds for technical assistance. I would send you on the direction of a EAC, but since you've been 2 years in business, this may also be a case to be taken by one of our lending partners that will guide you through the process of getting your financials in order and you know just getting the record straight. And Right there and then, they'll graduate you most likely into taking advantage into one of our programs. If you want more, and although it may be good for all of us to put it in the chat, maybe down the line, you can also reach out to me directly. I don't know, well, you have my email,
Yeah.
Jennifer, so feel free to put it in the chat, please. Feel free to ask me any questions that you want.
I will follow up and send an email to everyone who attended tonight so that they have your email address.
Absolutely.
We do have another question. Is being on Social Security disability considered a SETI?
Depending on the disability, yes. If oh, I would like to say that yes. The In this case, is the answer is a yes.
I'm just waiting to see if any more questions pop in. In the meantime, I will put my contact information in the chat. So if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me. And if you can't get in contact with me, you'll get in contact with somebody at the office.
Absolutely, Mary. Go ahead. I'm seeing the questions on the screen, so how can we identify an underserved community? Great question. So let me right away, while we're here, there's several ways for you to find this information. The one that SSVCI specifically uses is the CDFI Fund website. So let me pull it up here. CDFI, and I'll put it over here. So once you go into that website, you can search your, let's say, your address or your business address, because it may be different. Maybe your business is not necessarily registered in your, maybe the home base for the business is not necessarily your home address. You can search any of those addresses and it will let you know, oh, this is a CDFI investment area. So that will make the business a SEGI. There's other tools. So there's like the poverty rate map, and there's also other maps generated by other organizations. But the one that we really use for the SSBCI programs is the CGFI Fund map, the one that I just put in the chat. You can
Jose,
all, oh, yeah,
sorry.
no, no,
Would
go
you
ahead.
be able to just share your screen and just show us how to put in the address just so that people can do it from home?
Absolutely, it'll be my pleasure. So
Thank you.
let's see. Let me start from the top. So let me share my screen here. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so once you search, let's say Signify Fund Map, it's as easy as just typing some keywords on your preferred search engine. The very first option will be this one. Welcome to the Signify Fund CIMS mapping tool. You'll be welcomed by this beautiful and so intuitive screen. I hope that you can sense my sarcasm when it comes to that. But the one option that you want to choose is this one, CDFI. It will bring you to this map, and it's just as easy as just typing, let's say, our previous address. 33. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what, Mary? How about you give me an address and I'll just do it in real time on screen. It will have to be a specific address because otherwise, it doesn't work by let's say communities and all that. But you know what? Let's just zoom in right here. So you see how as the closer we get to the map, the like, well, you know what? She just gave us her address. Let's copy it here and let's put it here. Oh, that did not work. Let's just here, Avenue, Huntington, New York. Okay, there we go. And indeed, that's a CFI investment area. So regardless if you as an individual are a SETI, maybe you don't apply, and I'm not meaning you, Mary, specifically, but let's say you may not apply for, comply with one of the requirements that I put on the screen earlier, because you or the business are located in a CFI investment area, that makes you a SETI, that makes you an underserved individual. So right there. So you see how this area is filled out in green, whereas other ones around it are not, is because that one block, that one tract, as we actually call them, has been deemed an underserved community. And you can do the same. You can just, just browse around and I mean, just look at all the green spots, and the place that you least think that is a CFI investment area can actually be one. You will not expect CFI investment areas to be in Manhattan, and guess what? There are a lot. Hope that answers your question, by the way, Mary.
Thank you for that lovely demonstration. Because at first I didn't know what we were looking at. Green
Oh,
means CDFI.
no.
Sorry, SETI, right?
Yep, there's a new address on screen. So yep, we can search that one up. Prospect Street, Huntington. Yep, indeed. That's also a Signify investment area. So you're good to go on that end. Let me tell you that much. Your chances is increased by quite the margin.
While we wait for other questions in the chat, I do want to repeat for anybody who um, joined in late. If you are here for one of your professors, please give me your name and your professor's name in the chat so I can let them know you were able to attend tonight.
And while we're at it, let me share my information here. Uh, I'll be as kind as even just giving you my phone, my direct line, just because I like this crowd.
Holiday Miracle.
I know, right? So right there, let me paste it here. And there you go. That's my email. That's my direct line. So if you have any questions about our programs, maybe you go into the website, but the website that didn't really answer your questions, please just come to me and I'll direct you to the proper channels. I'll point you into the right direction.
It doesn't look like we're getting any more questions. So I want to thank everybody for attending, and I want to thank you, Jose, for your amazing information and presentation and for taking the time out tonight to give us all of this information.
It's my honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
And
you so
once
much.
again, any questions, please come to me.
Definitely will. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you very much.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.